And in your hearing, I'm going to read all 16 verses. It says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Continuing in the series, not my will, but I will. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I want to preface on today, I had to give you foundation. Had to give you foundation because I don't want you to leave without hearing the word of the Lord. And it was my intent, just like God is God and he knows exactly what he wants to do, as I would purpose to get closer to the end of this series, it is just like God to shake up the basket and to say, I have something for you to say to my people. I want to say that even now, as you are under the sound of my voice, God desires greater from you. He desires more from you. And giving him more is going to require some trust. It's going to require some boldness. It's going to require some faith. It's going to require some strength. All of us can be strong when there's nothing to fear. But it is when something that you fear arises that you will know how much you really trust God. On yesterday, as I was here with the women and hanging around the periphery and hearing them really dialogue and talk about the greatness and the awesomeness of God, though I was not privy to what was being said, because you know they don't let us in here. But the day was beautiful, as you know. The weather and the season is changing. It wasn't too hot, it was just nice. The sky was blue. And you notice that it's the season where the leaves are starting to fall to the ground. You can tell in the air this morning, I'm sure as you got up, you can feel the briskness in the air. And you can tell that change is upon us. And I want to say, though the seasons naturally are changing, so are the seasons spiritually changing. You get comfortable when God does something, you hold on to that change. But I want to say that whatever change has happened that you're holding on to, that you believe works in your best interest, you don't want it to change anymore, I got news for you. It's going to change. I don't care how settled you may be. It's going to change. I don't care how comfortable you feel. It's going to change. I don't care how in shape you might be. It's going to change. But it is not the change that you should be concerned with. It should be the God that you're connected to when change comes. And for me, that is the one thing that I believe is the constant in my life at this stage of my life, is that I know that I know. You don't have to tell me. Nobody has to tell me. I know that my relationship with Jesus is solid. I know it's solid. It doesn't mean every day is going to be sunshine. It doesn't mean every day I'm going to have something to laugh about, but I know that if and when I call on Jesus, I know he's going to answer. I just know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's going to answer. And it won't disrupt his schedule when I call him, because he might be attending to other matters. But I know when I call him, he will make me priority and still won't move anybody else to the back of the line. He can come to me and place me at the front and still keep you at the front at the same time. That's the type of God that we serve. We were here, and everybody left, and my wife went one direction. I went in another direction. And just spending time alone, I told you all that whenever I go shopping from now on or go to the mall, I go prepared. I have my armor on. Yesterday, had my armor on and was at the Allen Outlet, walking around, listening to my music, minding my business, shopping, looking at items and having a good time. It's in the midst that I'm making plans as I'm walking around the outlet. I'm trying to get my steps in and, you know, just walking, just taking the long way around, trying to knock out two birds with one stone. As I'm walking, I am in this store and my phone rings. My phone rings and it's my youngest daughter, Sydney. Now she knows I told her, if you ever around me and God does something, I'm going to preach on it. But I want to say that I wasn't going to preach on it, but the Lord unraveled it so that I had to run around the mall just because of how amazing he was to demonstrate his love. As she called me, I have a policy, and I'm sure those of you who have children, you have a policy as well, that when your child calls, you answer. I don't care how busy I may be, whenever my girls call, I will pick up the phone. On this occasion, I picked up the phone. We had talked, just exchanging pleasantries, and Daddy, what are you doing? And, I'm just hanging out. And, just small talk, and proceeded to end the conversation, as she always does. Daddy, I love you. Hangs up the phone. I go back to my shopping. Starting to get into the shopping. The phone rings again. And it's Sydney, and I'm thinking it's a misdial. But I answer the phone. This time when I answer, I hear a desperate, Daddy, I need you. I'm like, what's going on? Daddy, she's exasperated. What's going on? Daddy, I need you. What's going on? There's a spider in my car. Now, listen, as comical as it is, I want you to ride with me. Because I answered quickly. And based on her tone, I inclined my ear in her direction. Just to hear her say, Daddy, I need you, I put down what was in my hand. But when she said it's a spider, I said, girl, you got to be kidding me. She said, no, Daddy, it's a spider and it's hanging down from the ceiling. And you can hear in her voice that she is starting to go into a panic. Now, I want to say this. Because for many of us, the spider is insignificant. Especially for me, who would take the spider in my hand and squish it. But for some of us, even though you have the power, some of us will allow that fear to paralyze you. Let me just park on this one right here. The Bible tells you, as Jesus would say, he's given you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions. Said that nothing will hurt you. But the truth is, some of us got a phobia. That the enemy will present some things that just make you scared. That spider, Daddy, she's on the freeway. I said, where are you? I'm on 121. And I can hear her. She's exasperated. She's breathing. She's trying to catch her breath. I said, girl, don't you wreck that car. Let me say this. Some of us become so desperate that when God is doing something in your life, the very thing he put in your hands, you will wreck what he put in your hands to do, all because of a fear that has come back to you. I said, girl, that spider can't do nothing to you. She said, no, Daddy, you got to come get me. You got to come get me. I said, where are you? I'm on 121. I said, you can hear her kind of, she's not saying anything, but I can hear her repositioning herself in the seat. I can see her trying to get over. I can visualize because the fear has gotten her grip so much that she cannot even control herself. The fear of the spider has got us so gripped. I said, where are you? I said, you pull over right now. I put down everything I was doing. Whatever I had in my hand wasn't important. I put it down, ran out the store, jumped in my truck. Sydney sent me her location. Where are you? She sends me her location. I jump in my truck and I take off and I'm flying. Get on 121. I'm flying. I think that she has pulled into a parking lot. I make a U-turn, as the indicator would tell me. Sydney is parked on the side of the road with the doors open. She's sitting in the back seat. The doors are open and traffic is blowing by her. Y'all know, as a father, I'm thinking of the danger that she is in, not where she is per se, but where she has stopped. Many of us get desperate and stop at the wrong place at the wrong time. No matter how difficult it gets, you think that your fear will cause you to just pull over right where you are. I walk up, I pull up behind her as cars are zipping by me and zipping by her. They're blowing by me, rocking the truck. No one is stopping to attend to her. No one is stopping to assist. No one is stopping to see if she's okay. No one is stopping. I want to say this. No matter where you are in your life, know that God will stop. No matter how insignificant it may be to others, to God, your cry is significant. I got up to the car. She's smiling to see me. She starts to give me the gratitude. Daddy, thank you. Daddy, thank you. Y'all know how daddies are, because I start to correct her and rebuke her for stopping in a place that was not safe, and then start to deal with the problem. I go to the car to locate the spider, and she's saying, Daddy, the spider is right there. It's right there. I go in and I look, no spider. She says, Daddy, the spider was right there. I start reaching around and looking around and searching for the spider. The spider is not there. She's like, Daddy, I'm telling you, the spider is not. I say, you don't have to convince me. I know that the spider was there, but the spider is not here now. She says, well, Daddy, I don't want it to seem like I called you for nothing. I say, baby, it's always important that you call me before you call anybody else. Search for that. That spider couldn't find it. And I wanted her to get back in the car, drive the car, but because I couldn't find the spider, she refused to drive the car. Now, y'all, hold on to this. In my protection of her, I tell her, I said, I want you to drive my truck, and I'm going to drive your car. She gladly took the keys out of my hand and jumped in my truck. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment, because I have said this to Sydney before, where my truck has been parked behind hers and she needed somewhere to go. And I said, baby, just take my truck. No, Daddy, your truck is too big. I can't take it. I can't drive your truck. Other occasions I've said, take the truck. No, Daddy, your truck is too big. She's never driven my truck. But on yesterday, the circumstance dictated that when you are desperate for a rescue, you will overlook what you once feared, which was greater than what you currently fear, which is smaller. How is it that you can conquer something greater but be defeated by something smaller? You are here now. And it's that one thing that you are afraid of. You're afraid of that small thing. You're afraid of that thing that goes bump in the night when all it is your shoe falling out of the closet. She gets in my truck. I get in her car and I drive off. She doesn't hesitate. She pulls out in traffic right behind me, driving the big truck while I drive the small car. Take the car to the car wash. She parks the truck, stays in the truck, and I proceed to comfort her after the car is washed by saying, baby, you got power over the spider. Said the spider is more afraid of you than you should be of it. She said, but Daddy, I just have a thing about spiders. I say, but the spider got a thing about you. I want to say this. The devil got you in a corner. And you're afraid of the attacks that he brings to you. The anxiety got you twisted up. The worry got you bent over. Yeah, the heartache got you crying out at night. But the truth is, he can't do nothing to you. Nothing to you. We could not find the spider. Why was that? Because the spider knew that had he shown up on my watch, not only would I have dealt with the spider, but I would have dealt with the spider in a way where it would have demonstrated to her that this spider has no control. There is no fear in love, but perfect love cast out all your fear. Those of you who are under the sound of my voice, I want you to know something the Lord gave me yesterday. He said, now, I was upset. My jaws were locked tight. And Sydney was like, well, Daddy, I know you're going to preach on this. I said, no, I'm not. Because I fully intended not to. But when I drove off in my truck and she drove off in her car, the Lord said, yeah, you're going to deal with this. Because you look at this situation as if it's small, but so many of you will cry out to me. You will cry out to me and think I won't answer. Not only will I answer, but I'll come to you. No matter how small it may be, I'll come to you. But there's some of us that he won't respond to. I got to say this, y'all, because he told me to tell you. See, me and Sydney, we got this type of relationship that whenever she calls, I'm going to answer. No matter what it is, I'm going to answer. But for some of you in this room, if you call Jesus, he may not answer. Psalm 66 and 18 says, if I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. Let me say it again. If I regard sin in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. For those of us who believe that God hears everybody, Yeah, oh, yeah. This hearing is different. This hearing is different. He hears you, but the hearing is a little different. Y'all, I'm sorry for shouting, but I got to give it to you. The reason why I can run to Sydney is because Sydney is in right standing with me. She submitted to me. She's saying, God, whatever you say, I'll do. She's saying, Father, whatever you tell me to do, I'll do. Wherever you tell me to go, I'll go. Some of us in this room, God has been speaking to you, but you ain't listening. God has been telling you what to do, but you ain't doing. God is telling you how to be, but you ain't being. And you wonder why when you call out at him, it feels as if you're just speaking to open air. I want to tell you why. Because there's that little block that's between me and God. And it's called sin. The one thing that will open up that pathway for God to respond to you is when you confess, Lord, I have sinned against you. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. When that happens, you open up the pathway for him to run to you at a moment. It doesn't mean that God ain't going to run to you. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how desperate Sydney really is for me, but I didn't want to take the chance that where she was, it was going to be worse than what it was. Sydney called me, and all I could think of is her wrecking, not just what belongs to her, but also wrecking into someone else. And you're here. And many of us, all we think about is us. All you think about is you. All I think about is me. When things get bad, I just think about me. I just want it to stop, and I'm going to do anything I can for it to stop. But you never think that when you stop in a certain place, who it's going to impact. You don't think about who it's going to affect. What I love, the visual that God showed me was, though to you she stopped in the wrong place, the idea that she stopped is what I'm trying to get you to see. That if you are in any state in your life where you say, God, I need you, he say, stop right there. Don't go any further. Just pull over to the side and just wait. But God is not safe. He says, he that dwelleth in the secret place. This is the crazy thing. Thank you, Lord. Though everybody was zipping by, and I'm thinking about her safety, he said, she's dwelling in the secret place. She's dwelling where she's covered because she knows that you're coming. And when God is on his way to you, there's nothing that can harm you when he's on his way. The devil can't mess with you when you say God is on his way. Look, I say nobody stopped. The police, no wrecker, not even another vehicle to say, are you okay? Why is that? Because God said, this is my matter. Y'all going about y'all's business. I got this. Some of us are mad at people because they not checking on us and they not calling us. God is saying, it ain't for them to call you. Some of us are upset because nobody's ringing our phone. Nobody's stopping by and you're upset. Nobody's checked on me. God said, I don't want them to check on you because this is for me and for you. Nobody stops. But he said, I don't need them to stop. I'll stop. And I'm going to say this. I'm closing. If you want God's will to be done in your life, if you want his will to be done in your life. Let me say this again. If you want his will to be done in your life, all you got to do is call. God is never too busy. God is never too preoccupied to answer you. What he answers more than your voice is your heart. You don't even have to make a sound, because man looks on the outward appearance, but it's God who looks on the heart. And you might not say anything with your mouth, but your heart will speak. And he will run to you. I'm grateful to him because this event shows me. I told Sydney, I said, you taught Daddy a lesson. That there's never a bad time to call your daddy. Though in my human state, I might be agitated because you disrupted my schedule, but God never gets agitated. I don't know where you are, but you might feel like, God, I keep coming to you with this same problem. But he told you to not be afraid. Told you to be of good courage. But if you don't have enough courage, he's going to show up. Oh no, the devil keep thumping you on your head. Call your daddy. Oh no, you're so afraid that you don't want to be alone. Call your daddy. No, you're tired of the anxiety. Be anxious for nothing. But by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known. Now, some of us are afraid to tell God because we think it sounds petty. It's too small. God is not concerned with that. One of the things that I know is that God will give you the courage to deal with the small things, even though you feel like it's too small. Now, I don't know if Sydney is beyond the fear of the spider. Matter of fact, I know she's not. But I want to continue to encourage her that you have power over that thing that controls you. And you should be controlling it. Let me say this. The devil don't control you.
Come on now.
He don't control you. But you're letting him control you. The devil is running you off your own property, running you out of your own relationships, when all you have to do is speak to it.
Come on now.
You ain't got to swat him. All you got to do is just speak. Jesus said you should have faith the size of a mustard seed that you should be able to speak to. He said, this mountain. What mountain is he talking about? Your circumstance. And it will be gone. Stand to your feet.